Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya and welcome to our yearly video prediction series. And today we have with us Wojciech Barczynski, VP of Engineering at Spacelift. Wojciech, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Of course, I'm going to ask you to share your predictions, but before that, quickly remind our viewers, what is Spacelift all about?
So Spacelift is a specialized continuous deployment and orchestrator for infrastructure as code and configuration management. You can work with Spacelift to collaboratively work on your cloud resources at scale, or using our rich API to power your internal platform or any self-service workflow that you need in your company.
Excellent, thank you. Now it's time for you to grab your crystal ball and share your predictions with us.
So my first prediction would be about OpenTofu. I'm here a bit of bias, but I believe that 2025 is going to be the year of OpenTofu. What we see nowadays is a very quick and accelerated adoption of OpenTofu among small, medium startups and enterprise companies, with companies like Fidelity Investments or Cisco saying about actually moving the workflow to the OpenTofu. Of course, we can see this popularity on our numbers, GitHub likes and number of downloads, but always good to see these big companies, even small companies, going out and telling their story about how simple it was to migrate from OpenTofu to Terraform for features that we are providing, from state encryption to multiple features that are life quality improvements for everyday work of the engineers and making much simpler your infrastructure as a code setup. My second prediction is that hybrid is going to be very strong next year. So by hybrid, what I mean is having your workloads multi-cloud and on-prem. Why it is like that? Hybrid, especially the on-prem, that's the way how you can actually cut the costs, make it much more predictable. Running your key applications is also much easier sometimes for regulatory perspective. And with the growing number of appliance of AI and machine learning and more companies wanting to have these capabilities in-house, on-prem, that's the right solution for this kind of use cases. And with having a hybrid, we can have this flexibility, and this is what many our customers are also telling us that they are planning to stay there. My third prediction is about AI and machine learning. For sure, it's going to be a topic, and one area that I especially enthusiastic about is to using Gen AI and machine learning to explain the complexity and to guide engineers in their infrastructure. And also using machine learning and Gen AI to help debug and find issues with the complex setups. So I think this combining of experienced engineer with assistance of Gen AI could bring a lot of benefits for companies out there that sometimes are struggling to manage the complexity that modern cloud or modern systems require.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing this prediction. What kind of challenges you see are going to be there for the industry, for even player like, say, Spacelift?
So the first challenge is the one that we are having for the last probably 30 years since the cloud was introduced, is that cloud resources on one hand give us the speed, but the processes around them are quite slow. It comes from many the reasons. There are many reasons for that. On one hand, growing complexity of modern software stacks. On the other hand, the team compositions. Usually, DevOps platform teams are growing much slower than the developer teams. So there is some kind of a friction in working with cloud resources that is still there. And that's why, for example, Spacelift was created to address this friction. But this friction is with us and is going to stay with us for quite a long time. And the reason is simple. Cloud resources are a bit like tectonic plates for our project. The ones which are hard to modify, they're not as elastic as other part of our software stack. And also on top of that, we have all this security regulatory requirements that usually our infrastructure has to meet. The second challenge that I see now is challenge of building internal platforms and building the internal development portals. And the challenge comes from the fact is many people started building these platforms themselves, and they just found out that it's much more than just a simple UI or a simple workflow in the backend. Actually, it's like building a complete operation system on top of your whole infrastructure. So this is also this kind of challenge and because of this challenge, last year or even 2 years ago, we could read about infrastructure as called orchestrators, something like Spacelift and many other players on the market, which are telling you can focus on bringing the value to your internal teams, and we are going to take care of this messy and complex data for you. And the last challenge that we see is there's more and more regulatory pressure, especially in Europe. There was recently introduced this DORA document, and which means that it's going to be even more complex. And what you would like to have, and more complex because of the regulatory requirements, but also more complex because if you are talking about hybrid cloud, you need to ensure that it doesn't matter where you are, you're actually meeting the highest standards that are required by the institutions, by your customers, or by your security team. So that would be this third thing that I see that companies on our market are finding challenging.
Can you talk about what are the things that you would love to see happen this year, but you know that it won't happen?
One wish that I have from my side is to have one unified API to manage costs and manage monitoring across all the cloud environments. I know that there are initiatives like OpenFinOps and so on. I really would love that all initiatives get to such a maturity that I can treat these cross-cutting concerns like cost, stability, and so on, independently whether I'm on AWS, Azure, GCP, or on my on-prem environment.
And if you look at these predictions, these challenges, what is going to be the focus of Spacelift this year?
So looking on these predictions, so first of all, Spacelift and all the companies behind OpenTofu, we are committed to the project and we are working intensively to even accelerate more this adoption by, for example, offering professional services, providing the top support on our platform for companies who wants to move to the open source solution that's providing these features essential for security and maintainability of infrastructure as a code. Second, regarding the hybrid, we just released support for Ansible to let our customers to have one control plane where they can actually manage both on cloud, on-prem, provisioning, and configuration management, and benefit from all best practices that Spacelift provide out of the box. And the last, regarding the growth of platform engineering, although I think we are a little bit on hangover time for platform engineering, is we are investing into our API, more in our OpenTofu provider, in all the tooling around our platform, so it's easy to integrate us under Backstage or other top solutions, platform solutions that are existing on the market.
Wojciech, thank you so much for joining me today and share these predictions with us. And I would love to have you folks back on the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Swapnil. It was great to talk with you. Have a great one.